In today's program, at least 35 anti-government protesters were arrested over the weekend. The Public Health Ministry endorses booster shots to fully vaccinated people, and Parliament has passed the Thai government's 8.76 billion baht funding for the Thai monarchy over the next fiscal year. Details on these stories coming right up. You're watching Thailand News Today, bringing you the latest top stories in Thailand and beyond. In our first story, at least 35 protesters have been arrested in another clash with riot police at Bangkok's Dindang intersection yesterday, where numerous protests against the government have taken place in recent weeks. Young activists continue to call on Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha to resign due to what they describe as mismanagement during the COVID pandemic. In a video clip from the weekend, which we're unable to show in full here on our YouTube channel, police were seen actively targeting people on motorbikes, firing rubber bullets off them, pulling them from their motorbikes and kicking their motorbikes, forcing the riders to crash to the ground. Meanwhile, the National Police Chief ordered officers over the weekend to change their tactics on crowd control to reduce the impact the clashes have on residents in the area, with both rubber bullets and tear gas canisters ending up on private property. But police have maintained their stance to continue to use both tear gas and rubber bullets against large crowds or people they identify as protesters. A 24-year-old man has commandeered a Bangkok bus with a gun, holding the conductor and a passenger hostage last night. The gunman surrendered early this morning after a standoff that took hours to resolve with Lat Phrao police. Police were notified at 9:30 last night that a 24-year-old was holding the conductor and a passenger of public bus number 8 hostage while they were on Happy Land 1 road in Bangkok. Police dashed into the scene to find the number 8 bus resting on the right-hand side of the road. 3 people were visible on the bus. The 30-year-old bus conductor and the person identified as the hostage told police the gunman got on the bus at Victory Monument yesterday evening but refused to exit the bus when it reached Happy Land Road. They say he pulled out a gun and instructed the driver to head back to Victory Monument so he could be dropped off. Police had the bus surrounded until 11 p.m. At this time, the man disembarked and squatted on a footpath, still with the gun and declining to surrender. Several hours later, around 2 a.m., the gunman's mother managed to talk her son into surrendering. Thai media reports that the man is in the midst of financial difficulties and formerly worked as a temporary worker but is now unemployed. He was also involved in a robbery at a 7-Eleven on July the 7th.
Today's show is brought to you by Boat Patana of Boat Avenue and Shambhala, Phuket. For more information on their properties, see the link in the description below.
Phuket Tourist Police have rescued a Dutch couple who became trapped 3 kilometers offshore while kayaking early yesterday afternoon. Strong waves prevented the Sandboxer couple from paddling back to shore. The tourists were rescued and transported back to their hotel after calling police on 1155 from the 22-year-old Dutchman's mobile phone. He told police he was kayaking with his girlfriend when heavy rain began to fall and the waves got stronger. The couple got stuck close to Koh Tanan, about 3 kilometers offshore. The Public Health Ministry says that from next year, Thailand will begin offering booster doses to fully vaccinated people, as well as vaccinating children as well. Dr. Opat Karngawinpong from the Department of Disease Control says research shows that the immunity granted by 2 doses of vaccine, regardless of the type, will decline over time. For this reason, a 3rd or booster shot will be necessary. Meanwhile, the National Vaccine Board says that by next year, there should be at least 120 million doses of various COVID-19 vaccines available. This will include mRNA, inactivated, protein, and viral vector vaccines, a decision already approved by the CCSA. The NVA plans to import 50 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine, along with 50 million AstraZeneca doses. Opat says that if a second-generation vaccine is found to be safe and effective, it could arrive as a second batch. The CCSA has reported a wide age range in the latest COVID-related fatalities, with the youngest being a 7-month-old baby. Among the 233 deaths reported yesterday, there were also 2 pregnant women, an 88-year-old doctor, and a patient who was 101 years old. Today's reported figures show a continuing downward trend for the daily infections. You can find all today's numbers and provincial totals at thetiger.com. However, the Rural Doctors Society claims the number of infections being reported by the CCSA is not accurate. According to the society, the daily infection rate is based on PCR tests and does not include patients who've tested positive through antigen test kits but have not yet had the results confirmed by a PCR test. Thailand's Ministry of Labor is preparing to allow workers from 3 neighboring countries to return under a Memorandum of Understanding to solve Thailand's short-term labor shortages. The Department of Employment claims, following a survey, that around 425,000 migrant workers are needed to bolster the nation's workforce. Finally, according to Reuters, the Thai government's allocation of 8.76 billion baht funding for the Thai monarchy over the next fiscal year survived unprecedented calls for cuts by opposition MPs during parliamentary proceedings. Yesterday, the House of Representatives passed the 2022 fiscal budget bill. And that's all for the updates we have for you today, but be sure to stick around for various other content on the channel, including shows like Good Morning Thailand, Tiger Bites, and real estate content. Thank you for watching, and you're now up to date on the Tiger.
Tim was sad. He had time on his hands but didn't know where to find the news. But then he remembered. The Thaiger app, all your Thai news and Thaiger videos in one place. Just a single click takes you to a one-stop connection to all the news and information in Thailand. Now Tim is happy. Available free on Apple and Android, hologram not included.
Time to join the conversation. Tiger Talk is our forum where you can share your thoughts and comments about all the news stories, as well as just about anything happening in Thailand. Just scroll down under any Tiger story, click on Tiger Talk, register, and you're in. It's time to join Thailand's fastest growing forum. So jump in and be part of the Tiger Talk conversation.